about how furious, incandescent was the word that was actually used, Lady C, Meghan Markle is, over the fact that Netflix have effectively decided to put her on the scrap heap.
Meghan Markle is not just upset, she's incandescent.
Hopefully the last episode we ever have to endure.
That's the word sources inside Netflix used, and it wasn't whispered, it was shouted.
Realizing that With Love Meghan is a complete disaster.
The Duchess, who once thought streaming would be her crown jewel, now feels dethroned by none other than Victoria Beckham.
You know, the hypocrisy is extraordinary. I think both he and Meghan, because we've seen that with all her sort of cooking.
That's right, the same Victoria she once toasted at dinners, posed with at royal weddings, and later accused of betrayal. Now the spotlight isn't Meghan's, it's blasting onto Beckham. With confetti, cameras, and a red carpet, Meghan thought was hers to walk.
With Love Meghan is so incredibly mundane. Just quite honestly, it is so boring and plain.
Netflix isn't just backing Victoria's new show, set to premiere October 9th. They're rolling out a full campaign, interviews, promos, ads in London tubes, and Times Square.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Netflix executives, producers, and even CEO Greg Peters, and even Ted Sarandos, there's a lot of division going on over at that studio, and it's all because of Meghan Markle.
It's the kind of push Meghan begged for, and never got. That difference alone has sparked a rivalry far deeper than television. For Meghan, it feels personal. Victoria Beckham is not just another celebrity, she's a symbol. Once an inner circle ally, then a suspected leak to tabloids, and now the woman being elevated exactly where Meghan fell.
Is that she doesn't take anything that is said. She doesn't hold it. She just carries on.
Sources say Meghan sees this as Netflix making a declaration. They're betting on Beckham, not Markle. That sting cuts sharper because Netflix was supposed to be Meghan's fortress, the platform where she'd craft her own narrative, far away from Buckingham Palace press officers. Instead, her last series was quietly dropped, barely marketed, and quickly forgotten. One critic compared it to a ghost release. Another said it felt like Netflix buried it alive. Fans online have already drawn the contrast. Screenshots show Victoria's promo blitz dominating Netflix's homepage, while Meghan's past projects are buried 3 rows down. Memes are surfacing. Meghan's face and shadow with captions like, "Remember me?" side by side with Victoria's glossy poster. Some even joke that Netflix's autoplay preview for Beckham's show is louder than Meghan's entire career. It's cruel, but in the digital world, perception is everything, and perception now says Meghan's crown has slipped.
And at the same time, go all in on Victoria Beckham, her arch rival, Lady C, who is now going to be hosting this blockbuster. There was the announcement, launching on the 9th of October. And of course, Lady C, this is getting all of the treatment and the coverage and the marketing and the commercial push that Netflix didn't even bother with the most recent Meghan series.
Behind the marketing battle is something more ominous, a shift in corporate faith. Commentators suggest Netflix execs concluded Meghan's content sparks headlines but not subscribers. Victoria, by contrast, has nostalgia, brand safety, and a tie to the royal orbit that doesn't come with lawsuits or leaks. The irony, Meghan once claimed Victoria was the leak that ruined their friendship. Now, the woman she distrusted is being handed the very megaphone Meghan once demanded. And in the background, the stakes climb, because this isn't just Meghan versus Victoria. This is a collision of celebrity reputations, palace politics, and billion-dollar streaming bets, and Meghan's incandescent fury may just be the beginning of a far bigger unraveling. Meghan's fury isn't staying behind palace gates or California glass walls. It's spilling out into whispers, into interviews, into leaks she swears aren't hers. And fans? They're eating it up. On X, formerly Twitter, the hashtags tell the story. # Beckham Netflix trended globally within hours of the promo drop.
She, of course, believes this is some type of, entertainment conspiracy to destroy her. But isn't the reality, Lady C, that Netflix have just realized that people are much more interested in Victoria Beckham, and she has much more hope of becoming a big star for them, who's actually going to deliver subscriptions, than Meghan ever will?
Meanwhile, #Archetypes2, the rumored follow-up to Meghan's podcast, never even cracked the top 50. One fan posted side-by-side screenshots of Netflix's homepage. Victoria's face front and center, Meghan's buried under "Because You Watched." The caption read, "The student has become the teacher." It went viral, liked by more than 60,000 accounts. But it's not just fans. Industry insiders are starting to weigh in. A Hollywood reporter claimed Netflix views Meghan as good for gossip, bad for growth. Another commentator noted that Beckham's series offers warm nostalgia and zero drama. In an age where streaming giants are cutting budgets, every project has to prove it can stick. Victoria, silent for years about her private life, suddenly looks like the safer, more bankable star. Meghan, by contrast, is seen as unpredictable, a lightning rod for headlines, but not for binge-worthy loyalty. And then there's the irony that fuels memes. Meghan, who once accused Victoria of leaking personal details, is now reportedly advising Nicola Peltz, Victoria's daughter-in-law. Fans online claimed Meghan positioned herself as Nicola's mentor during family disputes. But somehow, those conversations leaked too.
Dress line, her dress house, is a massive money guzzler that isn't really a success. But they can afford to keep that vanity project going, and they have been doing.
A gossip columnist joked, "If Meghan says it, it's in tomorrow's paper." That stung because it echoed a pattern. Every time Meghan moves to reclaim power, it slips through her fingers in public. The backlash is growing louder. On TikTok, creators are cutting together clips of Meghan speaking about betrayal with shots of the Beckhams laughing alongside Catherine, Princess of Wales. The caption? Upgrade complete. Millions of views. And in the comments, fans are blunt. Meghan was the drama. Victoria is the brand. This isn't just rivalry anymore, it's a cultural swap. One celebrity slipping out of the mainstream while another slides effortlessly in. Inside Netflix, reports suggest the contrast couldn't be clearer. Executives have allegedly decided Meghan's projects spark controversy, but not commitment. Victoria's, on the other hand, come with the sheen of legacy. The Beckham name evokes football triumphs, Spice Girls nostalgia, and British glamour, all without the messy lawsuits or palace feuds. In streaming, that's gold. One insider put it this way: Meghan brings smoke, Victoria brings sunshine, and sunshine sells subscriptions. The tension now isn't just professional, it's personal, viral, and snowballing. And the cruelest detail? The Beckhams haven't said a single word. Their silence is louder than any denial, louder than any clapback.
And it gives her, a sort of raison d'etre that's aside from being Mrs. David Beckham, and keeps her relevant in terms of the fashion industry.
Meghan's incandescent rage has become a one-sided battle, and that asymmetry is driving her deeper into paranoia. Behind Meghan's public fury lies something darker, the conviction that she isn't just being sidelined, but actively pushed out. According to those close to her, Meghan has begun whispering about a silent pact inside the entertainment industry. Executives who once courted her, she now claims, are dodging her calls. Studio chiefs who once promised her creative freedom suddenly pass projects to others. To Meghan, it feels like coordinated sabotage. To insiders, it looks like cold economics. Because while Meghan fumes, the Beckhams glide. David Beckham's ties to the monarchy have deepened in ways Meghan can't match. Reports suggest King Charles has leaned on David to represent the king's trust on international stages. Photos show him smiling alongside Charles in Kenya, cutting ribbons, shaking hands with world leaders. Victoria, meanwhile, has been spotted in effortless conversation with Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales. The optics are undeniable. Where Meghan once stood, the Beckhams now shine. And then there's the silence. The Beckhams have not said a word about Meghan, not publicly, not in interviews, not even through unnamed friends. Commentators note this is deliberate, a contrast to Meghan's steady stream of statements, interviews, and subtle digs. In the court of public opinion, the one who talks less often wins more. A tabloid editor quipped, "Meghan writes books, Victoria writes captions. The difference in strategy is night and day." But the revelation that stings most? Netflix's own internal reasoning. Reports suggest that Meghan's projects underperformed by almost every metric. Viewers tuned in for the initial headlines, but few binged past the first episode. The drop-off was steep, the critics harsh, and the subscribers unmoved. In a ruthless streaming landscape, that's fatal.
And as long as they can keep that going, she has valid professional qualifications, as does he. And of course, the fact that he is now pretty close to the king, and representing the king's trust in various ways.
By contrast, test screenings for Victoria's new series reportedly showed high repeat engagement and cross-generational appeal. One executive allegedly said, "Victoria unites families. Meghan divides them. For a company fighting churn, the choice was obvious." Fans, of course, are quick to connect the dots. Some claimed Netflix is using Meghan's drama as free PR, then cashing in on Beckham's stability. Others speculated that Meghan's paranoia isn't paranoia at all, but recognition of a new reality. She's been replaced, strategically and surgically. And the cruel twist? She was replaced by someone she once accused of betrayal. All of this builds toward a single, cutting truth. Meghan's war isn't with Netflix or even Victoria Beckham. It's with irrelevance. And the more she fights to reclaim her narrative, the more it slips beyond her control. Because in Hollywood, in streaming, and even in the royal orbit, silence and likability are currencies Meghan no longer holds. For Meghan, the humiliation is layered. It isn't just Netflix choosing Victoria. It isn't just the palace warming to the Beckhams. It's Harry himself, showing signs that he may no longer want to fight her battles. Recently, Harry has been spotted looking almost giddy in public, dancing at charity galas, play fighting with children at events, even mock sword dueling for the cameras. Photos of his wide grin hit tabloids with captions like, "Prince Charming returns." Fans online claimed he looked lighter, freer, almost royal again. Commentators speculated he's testing a new identity, the fun prince, unshackled from Meghan's fury. And that shift is not going unnoticed. Reports suggest King Charles, despite his health battles, is quietly more open to Harry than ever. Ironically, Charles is said to find William's carefully curated schedule, fewer engagements, polished but distant appearances, less effective than Harry's unpolished spontaneity. A source told one outlet that Charles believes Harry still has the spark that keeps the monarchy visible. That idea would have been unthinkable just 2 years ago. Meanwhile, the Beckhams are becoming the royal couple's social safety net. Photographs from recent events show David laughing easily with Camilla, Victoria leaning in to chat with Catherine. To viewers, the message is clear. The monarchy didn't crumble without Meghan and Harry. It simply pivoted, plugging the gap with a shinier, less dramatic pair.
They are received at the palace in a way that Harry and Meghan aren't. And I mean, it's actually, it's funny as well.
It is. The whole thing is hilarious. It was actually, look.
TikTok edits hammer the point home, splicing old clips of Meghan in royal gowns with new footage of Victoria waving alongside palace insiders. The caption, "From duchess to designer, the crown found its match." And Meghan knows it. According to those close to her, she has raged that the Beckhams are occupying her role as the monarchy's celebrity bridge. The cruel twist? It was once hers by design. When Meghan first joined the royal family, she was hailed as the modernizer, Hollywood glamour fused with royal tradition. Now that exact role is being recast, and she's watching from the outside. What makes it worse is Harry's gradual pivot. Commentators are pointing out that Meghan is still at war, but Harry seems to want peace. One columnist noted, "Meghan fights the institution. Harry courts it." That contradiction could tear them apart faster than any Netflix contract. Because if Harry is painted as the comeback prince, while Meghan is cast as the bitter outsider, public sympathy may follow him, not her. At this point, the drama has reached its peak. Meghan incandescent and isolated, Harry grinning and drifting, the Beckhams silent but triumphant, and Netflix coldly betting on likability over legacy. The irony is brutal. The Sussexes once imagined they'd rewrite the royal script. Instead, they're watching their supporting cast steal the show. The fallout from Netflix's pivot is bigger than just two women with complicated history. It's a cultural reordering. Meghan's paranoia, whispers of an entertainment pact against her, has become the narrative she's trapped in. Fans online claim she now sees betrayal in every headline, sabotage in every missed call. But whether or not there's a conspiracy, the outcome is undeniable. The industry has cooled. Hollywood studios, once eager to tie themselves to her royal brand, are now playing safe. Reports suggest Meghan's pitches are being quietly declined, while Victoria Beckham is being ushered onto magazine covers and prime talk show slots. For fans, this is déjà vu. Commentators compared Meghan's slide to past celebrity exiles, stars who burned too hot, too fast, only to watch the spotlight move on without them. The cruelest part is how little effort the Beckhams needed to seize the crown. While Meghan staged interviews, documentaries, and tell-alls, Victoria and David perfected the art of silence. A fashion line here, a family photo there, and suddenly they're back at the palace, the picture of polished British elegance. Institutionally, the message is sharp. Buckingham and Kensington have embraced the Beckhams as safe glamour, the kind of celebrity partnership that elevates without controversy. David's role with the King's Trust has cemented him as a royal ally, while Victoria's Netflix series ties her brand directly to global audiences. Meghan, once the Crown's modernizer, is now framed as its rebel outsider. The establishment didn't collapse without her. It simply found replacements. Culturally, the shift is even more brutal. Meghan once embodied the fairy tale crossover, Hollywood actress turned duchess. Now, she risks becoming the cautionary tale, the celebrity who mistook headlines for staying power. Industry analysts have already speculated that Netflix's rejection could spook other platforms. If Amazon or Disney Plus hesitate to gamble on her, the window may close for good. And in a media landscape that worships momentum, irrelevance creeps faster than scandal. And yet, there's irony. Meghan left the royal family to write her own story, free from palace control. But the industry she turned to is proving just as ruthless, and far less forgiving. In Hollywood, numbers rule, and Meghan's didn't deliver, Victoria's might. The silence of the Beckhams, the smiles at royal events, the effortless glide into spaces Meghan once dominated, it all points to a single, painful truth. The world has moved on. If Meghan Markle can be replaced this easily, what does that say about celebrity power in the streaming age? Is likability the new currency, stronger than royalty itself? One thing's for sure. This battle isn't over, and if you want to be here when the next twist drops, hit subscribe, like this video, and check out our next deep dive. Because in Hollywood, the credits never really roll.